What's the most twisted family rule you've ever heard of? When I was 7 and my little brother was born, I said, "Is it a boy or a girl?" And my mother pressed her hand over my mouth and told me I would never speak again. Those were the last words I spoke for 11 years. The silence thing wasn't new in our family. It came from the religious community where both my parents were raised. The rule was that only the youngest child in the family was allowed to speak, so the older siblings couldn't corrupt them. I had 3 older siblings, none of whom I'd ever heard speak. My sister was only 2 years older than me, so she'd been silent almost her whole life. Mom still had her voice because she was the youngest in her own family, but Dad had been silenced when he was 5 and his little sister was born. Mom absolutely loved this rule and would mock Dad constantly for his silence, saying things like, "It's so peaceful without your stupid opinions," while he could only communicate through gestures that she usually ignored. Our house was eerily quiet, just Mom's voice, and for the first 7 years of my life, mine. But then my baby brother Ian was born. Mom said, "You've had 7 years to say everything you needed to say, and now it's his turn to be the special one. Big girls don't need voices when they have a baby brother to protect." She told me that if I ever made any sound again, including crying or laughing, she would send me away to live with strangers who didn't love me like she did. She put tape over my mouth for the first week to help me remember my new role in the family while my older siblings looked at me with haunted sympathy. Overnight, I became invisible while my new brother was treated like a precious prince. I realized this was how my older siblings had felt this whole time, and now I was in hell with them. Mom homeschooled all of us to keep our family's traditions secret, but Ian got real lessons where he could raise his hands to ask questions, just